If you were taking an evening walk along the beach and came across a giant mysterious creature washed up on the shore, would that frighten you? What if you found it looked like a serpent or even an alien? What would you do? Maybe poke it or just run away? Who knows?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I don't know what they are, but they're creepy.
In this video, we're going to show you weird things that have washed ashore. From the rare giant squid to a menacing prehistoric dolphin with horrifying teeth. Take a look at 15 things that have washed up on beaches.
Oh my gosh.
Don't forget to watch till number 1 because that is going to really amaze you. Mystery Sea Monster. In 2017, the world was stunned with reports of a huge sea monster that washed up dead on Seram Beach, Indonesia. Locals were frightened to see the mammoth 15-foot animal that looked like some sea demon. It does look pretty gross though. It's like a giant blob. You can't tell what it is. The carcass was too far decomposed to identify its species, and while some assumed it was a huge whale, others felt it may have been a megalodon shark that many believed to still exist in deep waters. The sea creature baffled scientists who struggled to find out what it was. Was it really some prehistoric sea dinosaur, or was it just a huge boat that locals had spotted a few days ago? Much after deliberation and study, it was found to be a mammoth baleen whale that had died and washed ashore. Giant snowballs on Siberian beach. In November 2016, locals in northwest Siberia's Gulf of Ob were delighted but puzzled to find their beaches strewn with huge natural snowballs, some like golf balls and some almost 1 meter or 3 feet in diameter. The icy orb stretched for more than 11 miles along the coast, which was covered in the perfectly shaped spheres.
Вот, это большие. Вот, по сравнению с новой.
Villagers from Nida on the Yamal Peninsula in the Arctic said they'd never seen something as magical as that in all their lives. They may not have seen some, but there have actually been some in Maine and in Michigan in the U.S. Scientists revealed the snowballs were the result of a natural phenomenon. It was the constant rolling of a tiny piece of ice by winds and water that led to the formation of the white candy-looking balls that made a pleasant and beautiful surprise for them. Rare sea serpent washed ashore.
What? From the face. Okay, thanks. From the face right there.
In June 2015, residents of Catalina Island near California were puzzled to find a dead and mysterious-looking creature washed up on the beach. It looked unlike anything they'd ever seen before. This thing was huge. But scientists who inspected the carcass were saddened and relieved in equal measure because it turned out to be a very rare species called the oarfish, and that was proof it was still very much around.
We like the lake, it's so good.
According to marine biologists, the rare oarfish is the very epitome of beauty and grace, and if ever spotted, will be seen with their heads hanging vertical in the water. The oarfish that had washed ashore turned out to be quite a specimen that was 4.3 meters long. See, told you, that's over 14 feet. Didn't really tell you much because you saw the people lying next to it or sitting next to it. Still massive, though. First dino in Washington. In 2015, paleontologists in the U.S. were ecstatic on discovering the first ever dino fossil in Washington state.
It represents the close to the body end of the thigh bone or the femur bone.
Finally, the area has proven to be a region that could yield more exciting prehistoric discoveries. The fossil, a significant one, was the thigh bone of a two-legged carnivore belonging to a group of theropod dinosaurs that included all the mean guys like Tyrannosaurus rex and the dreaded Velociraptor. What was also astonishing was its age, found to be 80 million years old, which meant it existed during the late Cretaceous period. The amazing discovery was made on the shores of Susha Island State Park in the San Juan Islands. Yay, congratulations, Washington! Not only do you have football and soccer, but now you've got dinosaurs. It's hard to believe you wouldn't have some before. Gosh, that's weird. Mysterious blue creatures visit the beach. Have you ever heard of the term by the wind sailor? No, it's not a sailor per se, but a mysterious jelly-like sea creature that sometimes swept ashore. Also called Velella velellas, the beautiful-looking shell-like creatures surprised locals who spotted them on beaches from Oceanside to Prismo. Beachgoers on San Pedro were astonished to spot them for the very first time. The bluish, dainty animals are not harmful, but quite hard to spot, and many even go unnoticed. Looking like tiny blue jellyfish, these creatures surprisingly appeared in larger than usual numbers in April 2019, causing quite a stir in the area. We're getting invaded. We're getting invaded. No, it's jellyfish. Purple blobs invade California beach.
Slimy creatures touching off something of a beach scare.
Have you ever seen the movie Evolution? Now, what would you do if you saw a huge purple blob moving behind you? Beachgoers in California were startled to spot weird purple-colored slugs on the shoreline, looking like some alien invasion. Scientists stepped in and identified them as sea hares, which are pretty harmless creatures. The marine animals are plant eaters, but because of their weird coloring, size, and rarity, they could overwhelm people who'd never seen such things before.
This is a slug, but not a nudibranch, because its gills are actually tucked up back here behind this fold in the mantle cavity.
Scientists explain the unusual abundance of the creatures invading the beaches and waterways was due to warmer temperatures along the coast. Evidently, the warmer temperatures are like a magnet for those things. That explains the mass migration of elderly people to Florida. Giant squid on Spanish beach.
So this footage is provided by NHK, a Japanese company, who managed to capture the clearest view ever of a giant squid.
Dinner time! For marine biologists around the world, the giant squid is considered an elusive creature. It's rarely been sighted, and only once or twice have been documented on video. It's no wonder that when one dead specimen washed ashore on La Arena Beach in Spain, that people would be aghast, scared, baffled, and amazed at what this gargantuan creature could be. Was it some alien that had been hiding in the depths of the ocean? No. Biologists confirmed the huge cephalopod to be none other than the giant squid, which happens to be the largest invertebrate on the Earth. This particular one was a beast, measuring over 9 meters long and weighed a massive 400 pounds. See, if it'd been found earlier and fresh, the restaurants would have been open for business. Giant squid on the main menu, $150 a plate. Well, you can do that. Pickle-like creatures invade Oregon Beach.
Take a walk along the beach in Oceanside and you'll see them. Lots and lots of them. Yeah, they're everywhere.
In 2017, the people of Oregon got an amusing surprise when they thought they were being invaded by live moving pickles. Beaches in the area were overrun by weird translucent creatures that looked like pickles slithering around the beach. In fact, vast stretches were covered by them. It was only when biologists investigated that they revealed that the translucent pickles were pyrosomes. They are strange marine creatures made up of hundreds of individual organisms. Biologists were surprised as to how they got there and felt that the warmer ocean waters along the coast may have attracted them. You know what feelings are? Giant pickle sandwiches. Just be careful going with your feelings there. I feel a pickle sandwich is in order. Giant pipes washed ashore.
Some giant plastic pipes have been discovered washed up on the English coastline.
Now, people have seen giant squids and marine creatures and even whales washed up on beaches, but what washed up on the coast of Norfolk was beyond anyone's comprehension. It was several huge, gigantic plastic pipes. Speculation was ripe with theory. Maybe it was a submarine broken apart, or perhaps it was from a ship. The hard plastic pipes looked as if they were made of iron and had a diameter of 2.4 meters, but its length was what was unbelievable, 480 meters long. That's almost 1,600 feet. It was later revealed that the pipes were part of a consignment being towed to Algeria that got loose and went astray. Those darn Algerians. They were later collected and towed to Norway. Not the Algerians, but the pipes. Just, I thought I'd clarify that. Giant Lego Man.
Hi, Jeff.
What if you were still strolling along the beach, like you were in the other one, and were suddenly confronted by a giant Lego Man? Would that make you pull out your mobile computing device and Google the nearest Lego store? Or would you feel you're in a dream? Well, that's exactly what happened when people found a 6-foot-tall giant Lego figure on the beach in Brighton in 2008. The red, green, and yellow Lego Man had the words, "No real than you are," emblazoned on his front. It was later revealed by a LEGO spokesman that the figure was the work of artist Ego Leonard, who was promoting his upcoming London exhibition in the coming weeks. That was not the first time the artist had used giant LEGO figures to surprise people. Earlier, he used the same tactic on a Dutch beach too. Did it have Dutch wooden clogs on? Mysterious blob on Acapulco Beach. While there have been several mystery creatures washed up on beaches, only to be identified later, what washed up on a beach in Acapulco, Mexico, still remains an enigma. In August 2016, the internet was abuzz with the discovery of a huge, gigantic creature that had washed up on the beach in Acapulco. Even environmentalists and biologists couldn't identify the creature. It looked like a giant blob with saggy, gelatinous skin. Was it a giant squid or a large whale? No amount of research could identify the species. What was even stranger was that, though it had died, there was no odor. Till today, the event remains a mystery. That's my mystery sound. What, you don't like it? Well, your opinion's a gelatinous blob on the beach of Acapulco, then. Thousands of Kinder eggs found on beach. Now here's every child's fantasy come true, and maybe some adults too. Locals living in a small German island were amazed and delighted to find thousands of Kinder eggs strewn all over the beach. Tens of thousands of plastic eggs, still with toys inside them, had washed ashore. But how did they get there? No one was complaining, but it was later revealed that a freighter carrying a huge shipment of containers filled with toys had got caught in the storm axle, and several containers had broken loose. It seems one of the containers was holding the Kinder eggs that had washed ashore. The mayor of the local 1,000-strong community declared the toys to be duty-free and allowed the children to have a field day collecting as many as they pleased. Millions of red crabs swarm San Diego Beach.
Oh my gosh. So yesterday we were down here.
In 2015, people living along the Southern California coast witnessed a strange phenomenon. Millions of red tuna crabs looking like crawfish kept washing ashore and lay on the beach like a red carpet, 16 inches thick, laid out in the sun. Beaches on Balboa Island especially were covered with the crustaceans, and no one knew why or how they got there. Several people tried throwing them back into the water, while, obviously, some seafood lovers may have collected them as dinner too, but they stayed in plenty for a whole 3 days. Please tell me they wore some kind of waders to keep from being pinched. While their natural habitat is Baja California, scientists explain that when such incidents occur, it's a warning sign of the warmer temperatures and unusual weather to come. Dead whale with stomach full of plastic. In 2018, park officials of the Wakatobi National Park in Komodo Island, Indonesia, were well and truly shocked when confronted with a horrifying sight one morning. Lying there on the beach was a dead whale washed ashore. Even more tragic was what officials found in the whale's stomach. The whale that measured a staggering 9.5 meters was found with an unbelievable 13.2 pounds of plastic trash in its stomach that included 115 plastic cups, sandals, and even a sack full of plastic string. While the park is a popular tourist spot for beachgoers and surfers, the dead whale was a tragic example of how plastic is polluting oceans worldwide.